Good day, everybody. Here we have West Coast Mainline South with Train Sim 2021 Deluxe. I wouldn't have purchased this, but figured I'd give it a shot, especially as a route that not many Americans, including myself, are too awfully familiar with personally, just from playing Train Sim, reading and feeding up on information from Alan Thompson, and getting some runs on the freeware route, which is fantastic. And here we have the AP350 in London Midland. But what you'll see is, let's just go back here. So for those who aren't familiar, this pan is how it pulls in power, how it feeds power. As you can see, first off, the overhead looks horrible. This rectangle that we have here that it catches. But then you get to the end of the platform and kerplunk. Those pans would go sky high. After you get through here, they just shoot straight up. And this is what this looks like. This is absolutely horrible rushed work. And yeah, I feel really bad for people who purchased the route and did not get a chance to refund it, who were looking to refund it. Especially a highly populated area. I'm sure there's a lot of there's a lot of people that were especially looking forward to this route because of it being a local route for them and something that's been asked for a long time with a whole lot of potential, and you're left with stuff like this. And this is coming from someone who doesn't know this route at all, who's never been to it, just to drive it in Train Sim. So I have no reference point for what this route should look like. So I can only imagine the disappointment. So if my expectation is that if I get a local route here in the near future, like say like the Keystone Line, Amtrak Keystone Line, I'd be in love if that were to be announced. But I would probably have a significant level of distrust in the quality that route and the accuracy that route would come out with. But enough of my talking. So you can see here that frame rate's not awfully bad. We are running this in 4K with everything turned all the way up. Everything's all the way up. I'm not changing how I run Train Sim on my machine because a route comes out. I saw some of the, and I still think that they're bogus reviews on Steam for this route from the 0.0 hours users talking about how they don't have the missing assets. Wow, it makes me wonder why you wouldn't have the missing assets. So let's give it a drive here for a couple stops just to check out the route. I know it goes either way here. You'll hear me flip-flop it. But yeah, it looks decent from my eyes here, but we'll see. We'll see what we got going on. This is my first time running on this line, so forgive me, but at the same point, I'm kind of taking everything in here. Now, for me, the deluxe or even the standard edition would have been a killer deal because I don't have any. This is the first time I had nothing for the release. So I got the Clinchfield out of it. I got the German route out of it, and Fife Circle Line surprisingly didn't have. I kept on forgetting to purchase it, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to put it on the wish list. We'll wait for it to go on sale. and never went on sale because it hit up on this deal. So even $49.99 US is what the cost was for the deluxe package. So I'm only spending, what does that come out to? 12 and change, $12.50 per route. So we'll give a stop at some of the platforms here, just to take a look. I'm just trying to keep an eye on the assets here, so we can see our overhead line. There's a little bit of stutter, tree stutter too, mind you. So we're just loading tiles here. So it could have been loading the next platform. You're really jumpy. Coming in hot. Those textures, though, my goodness. You're always going to expect to see this, just trees passing through everything. That's the nature of this beast, but this billboard penetrating into this wall, that's penetrating into this wall, and this wall has absolutely horrid textures. Right? I feel like we're hunting for something of quality. I'm sure most people watch the stream. The fog. If you look at the scenarios are all foggy. I don't know if that just makes it harder to see a lot of the really junky assets and textures that were used. So frame rate wise, you'll see we didn't start at New Street, and London Euston is the same, just really low quality, but very, very low frame rate as well. Those two usually scale together to oppose. So if you have low quality, low texture, low density, you'll typically have higher frame rate, and that's not the case here. Will there be a patch for this from DTG? I hope so. I really hope that this will be the route that gets the treatment after the community completely and totally knocked them around and kicked some teeth out in the reviews. But just keep in mind that DTG does not have a really good track record of going back and fixing things that they have control over. You see a lot of patches for different third-party production houses on their content because they actually listen to their users. DTG does not. They're just money grabbers. Throw some stuff out there. They released this with hopes that the community would see it as okay and go about the fixing and make the repairs necessary. And I'm sure there will be, but that's unacceptable. It's an absolutely horrible business practice. Unless their business practice is directed at completely killing the deep interest in Train Sim Classic, I don't know. It's an inside job. It's been a while too. Just keep in mind, running any trains, not just this route or this train. I have not touched this product in nearly 3 months. Good for me, right? This is the first DLC, DTG DLC, that I purchased in 2020. I'm almost positive. Everything else was third party. So then we come to this. Well, don't that look pretty? So this looks pretty decent here. I love this. Outside of the platform, some of this right here, these textures, like, what's this? What is this? Maybe I'm being too picky because I'm not in here. And I'm not looking out and about like this. Right? I would agree with that. Except for was it 2016? 2015? When they added the rail fan scenarios. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. So they even have scenarios where you're outside of the train. So don't say that it's built for a train view when it's also built to view trains. And you do that from the outside. And if the outside looks like trash, the experience will feel like trash. Neutral. There we go. So my wasn't too deep, but my research, there's a lot of trees here. So I'm not going to hold them to that. That's just the nature of some of the routes have a lot of line side trees. That is not killing us. If you look above, you'll see 2D sprites. That's not killing the frame rate here. There we go. Best frame rate on the route right now. In the dark in a tunnel and nothing loading. The length of the route is phenomenal. 113 miles. I mean, can't go wrong with that, right? Another thing about the stream that was just blew my mind was that there was no. Everybody was trying to to hide the frame rate or talk about it just jokingly about the frame rate as if it weren't a large deal. And it made it almost appear as if either no one had run the route beforehand to see the performance differences, or the performance issues, I should say, or they didn't want to delay anything at all, didn't want to make any sort of compromise whatsoever on this release, and just hoped it would go okay. So here you can see, whoa, okay, that's some laggy there. But again, not bad. Look at these textures. Not the best, not the worst. I mean, this is the best we can do for a substation, right? Because we have nothing better. No better models of this have been made at all for any of the routes in this game, right? DTG has had better substations and line side product for this. So I think Alan had a stream or a video that came out where you can obviously see some of the stations were modeled by one person or group. Other stations were modeled by others. Certain line side assets were modeled by a different team. That's the way this works. But you should not be able to tell this at all. There has to be some level of cohesion and parity in the quality of the work being performed by a team on a project like this. And that is what you would expect even in some sort of freeware release, correct? So if you go and you look at the releases by groups of people, or even like you'll see on like Alan Thompson Sim, or some others, some free routes that are out there. And I mean free as in you can get the route. Yes, you have to have some of the dependencies cost money. But even those freeware routes where you have people who are doing this for the love of the product and the hobby, they operate as one unit, as one team. And it almost appears as if one person could have made the entire product. And here we have a for-profit organization, Dovetail, that releases product that looks like it was given to a school, a class. And it was the final term project for the entire class. And each person had something that they had to do for the project. And some people passed, and some people failed. And when some people on the team fails, the whole team fails. And this is a fail. We're just going to go right through this platform here. We're going to test some of the stutter bugs. So we'll stop at Coventry. Yummy. There's just no consistency. So again, this texture here, I know it makes it easier and it makes it less taxing, especially when you're reutilizing these textures. But come on. We'll give it one more stop or two. Sorry, I've forgotten things that are right with this pack is the inclusion of so much stock. At least that part is right. There's nothing better than getting on a route and only having one or two pieces. And if this is, you're running the default scenarios, of course, right? If you're running the default scenarios, they only can allow the stock that is included in that scenario or in that route to be run in that scenario. So you could be zipping it up and down this line if this only included, say, the 390 and the 221 or the 350. You would only ever see that stock. So for somebody who, say, just purchased Train Sim 2021 and this is the only British route that is in the game, then they would have access to a ton of stock. They would see this stock up and down this corridor, which was nice. 350, somebody had pointed out the differences in the cabs, interiors. Back here are based on whatever subtype you're in. That's cool, right? That's all I got. I mean, really, that's all I have for this route here. It's up here. I mean, when you're running out here between the trees, it's okay. But for a flagship release that has so much hype and so much potential, okay is not acceptable. We go best frame rate. Best frame rate. Out in the middle of nowhere. I guess these are really only set up to go 100, but we'll call it a test. Some people say it's not fair to be so picky on frame rate. By some people, I mean some of the questionable reviewers on Steam. How do you have 0 hours? Product received for free. Or something along those lines. Of course, for free, you're not going to complain. You didn't spend your hard-earned money on the product if you received it for free. Somebody throws you a bone, you give them a pat on the back for this. Hoping they throw you a bone again, right? I know people complain about Just Trains, the Met, and the S7 or the S8, and you run them and they're frame rate hogs. They can be taxing on a system. Here's the only thing, though. They're a lot more accurate, and the assets are absolutely phenomenal. Much higher textures, much greater densities. Can you complain? Yes, you can. I think the complaints are more justifiable on this because there is no valid reason for this to look like this, not with the resources that were behind it. Am I going to keep this? Probably. I keep most everything that I test. Will I usually, I'll skip out next time around. And that's really where the reason I hadn't purchased anything in quite some time is because of how distrust for DTG and their quality of release to their pricing. I'll gladly give money to AP. I'll gladly give money to Bossman Games. I'll gladly give money to Virtual Railroads. Top-notch product. But maybe I'll hold off some more. I know I slowed down a bit much here because I wasn't sure if that was a speed board or a speed board in signal. It looks like it's just a speed change here. So I was assuming our stop is at the platform up here, which we'll probably call it a day here at Rugby. The resolution on the car stop board and then the specific car stop boards, you think they could have made this a little bit higher resolution? The letter S in 2 words, at least to match this. And the area between the platforms just looks, I mean, this just looks barren. Should do a side-by-side of DTG's West Coast Main Line South Rugby and the Trent Valley Rugby from how many years ago was that? 6 years ago? 5 years ago? Just to see the difference. Yeah, some of the assets might look a little bit better here. This is probably an updated version, but man, in between, just brown. Low res brown. So I think we're going to call it quits here. Pretty sure it's all this. If you look here too, you can see the track. You got a hard right there in the track. We don't have a smooth angle coming around this way. Probably just to hug the platform. We'll see. Really, 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 I'd like to say I'm surprised by this. That'd be something different. And I think after years of these releases, people were just like, well, you can't mess up that many times in a row. Let me get this. This will be when things turn around. They'll show that it's different now, and they'll work towards quality. And a continuous letdown in terms of the quality to price that you pay, time and time again. So the other 3 routes that came with this, yeah, I'll put some time into this, but maybe not until they fix it. I don't know. Maybe I should return it. I don't have that much time on it here. Like I said, I just started this up. So we'll see. I'll put some time onto the clinch field, maybe do a video of that, see how I feel about that. I've seen some videos here and there about some discrepancies on that, but not nearly as much. In terms of frame rate, scene quality looks amazing. And then what else do we have on there? 5 circle line, I was looking forward to that too. I heard there's a patch for it. I guess I'll have to get that because there's no super elevation stock. Maybe I was thinking, maybe I'm thinking the right route. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't want to put a video up just complaining about a product, but here I am complaining about a product. There's been a few by third parties here and there that I stay away from now completely because I see no value in having to fix something that you pay that kind of money for. But this is a perfect example of that, where the fun part of driving might be points in between, and even then you get frame rate drops. And why you're getting frame rate drops when you have absolutely horrible textures and such, I don't know. Like I said, maybe we're being pushed in a train sim world so we can have this route released to us in 5 different sections so that the consoles can run it, and we can pay $30 per section and give DTG $150 rather than just $30. So, well, I'm definitely calling this a negative review if you haven't picked up on the tone of it. But I'd like to get some more. This kind of has me back in the mood here to do a few more videos here. I'll put up some reviews on the other product. If you're like me and you don't have any of this, if you only have interest in one of those routes, so whether it be Clinchfield, the German route, or Pipe, and you wanted that route, which is normally $39.99 US, and you can pick up this entire pack for, what was it, $29.99 US, you're making out. If you wanted all 3 of the routes, which I think they're all 3 really good, but some people don't want to run something outside of their country, you're still getting essentially a $10 discount if you're only going to play one route. If you're going to play all 3, it's $10 per route. If you go this route and you pay $50, it's $12.50 a route to get all 4. So for $12.50, is this route worth it? I mean, yeah. If this was on sale for $12.50 now, mind you, it's going to take a number of years for it to get down to a 75% off. Or what is it, 65, 70% off. But it's just not, I wouldn't buy it at full price. There's no way. I mean, I would feel absolutely kicked in the nuts, pissed off, disappointed, let down if I would have spent full price, $40 on this route, because I already own the other product, and that's all I wanted was this. So we'll see what comes next, but really I think this is hopefully a warning from the community to DTG that it will not be taken anymore, that the people want more for their money than they have been getting in the past, and DTG will actually take it to heart and maybe take some additional time on projects to get it done, rather than splitting resources or splitting teams or whatever might be going on over there. I don't know. But if this is the end result of what decisions are being made, there's not going to be a lot more money coming from the pockets, the hard-earned money from the pockets of the users to DTG because of stuff like this. So again, this is British release, British route. So it's, to me, I don't know much about it. I don't know how many people on the channel here will see this, but take it more as a warning as to what will come the next time they do a German route or North American route, or, God forbid, giving us something from another area of the world, like Australia. How much money could they bank if they released an Australian route? How much money would they be able to bring in? How popular would that be? I'd be on that in a heartbeat. Anything in Southeast Asia first party that they're not leaving up to another company, a third party to release, which is a lot of the product that's being released. The reliance is on that, which even confuses me even more. If you look at the saturation of third-party content now for Train Sim Classic versus 4 or 5 years ago, I think it kind of flip-flopped. I think 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm just guesstimating here, that third-party releases on Steam for Train Sim Classic, you may have had one for every 4 or 5 DTG releases, and I feel like now that has reversed, and you have one DTG release for every 4 or 5 third-party releases, which then makes you wonder, are they diluting their workforce rather than before, where they would have had, obviously before Train Sim World, did they have close to the same number of employees working both then and now, and the majority of them working on, at that point in time, Train Sim Classic, because it was the only thing they had in their bucket. And then this is what we're left with. Who knows? But just be warned that this could potentially, this is going to go two ways. This is kind of the fork in the road, right? That DTG could take this as a message saying, like, the community is not going to take trash being sold to them at this price, and they will make an adjustment, or that they will continue down this path as they don't care, and it's easier and cheaper for them to release this to whoever will buy it at the price that it's released at, and try and push more people over to Train Sim World. I don't know. Just cranky me at 4 o'clock in the morning checking out this new product. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I didn't get you guys too cranky. I'll have some more up here with some roots and some rolling stock that did come out with this that I know I'm going to enjoy. But hopefully that next video is a little bit more lighthearted. And again, I'll get some more truck sim videos up as well. It kind of reinforces the point I made in my first, if you didn't watch it, American Truck Sim video. And I'll have a Euro Truck Sim 2 video coming up here too, because I haven't driven that in a few days, and I really like that as well. So hope everybody enjoyed. If you have any comments, especially on this route in particular, if you're familiar with this route, let me know in the comments. Please subscribe. Let me know what it is you would like to see in terms of simulations, games in general, anything at all. Let me know, and I'll get a review up. One way or another, I'll get the content, get it up here for you. So thank you again, and we'll have another video soon here, real soon, I hope.